Okay, let's try this one more time. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hit and Run Candlestick members Tuesday night e-learning. Appreciate everybody being here, taking the time out of your evening to be here. What I'd like to do tonight is we'll just take a look at the market, and then I'm hoping you guys have some stocks to post out there. I don't think there's going to be any lack of nice charts tonight after today. Today was pretty impressive, and we'll talk about that a bit. So let's just see here. I've got the SPY up here, and let's start with that. The first thing I want to say is today absolutely took me by surprise. I'm not bashful to say that. I mean, it is what it is, and quite honestly, I kind of think it took a lot of people by surprise. Now, there's some people that, very bullish, and it didn't matter if the market gapped down this morning. Still going to be bullish, but right from the get-go, it took me by surprise by the way it came back up. The gap down didn't surprise me too much, as I figured we would have a lower open today, or at least a lower low, a lower low today, after the action yesterday, after the price action yesterday, and the where's my mouse? Here we are, and a little topping pattern up here. I want to emphasize after today, little topping pattern. So what did today do? Today gaps down. It kind of rolled around this morning, and then it headed up, and for the most part strong all day long, just sort of moving up. Minor intraday dips here and there that really didn't amount to a whole heck of a lot. I think there was one time during the day when it looked like it was going to really cave in, and then about 10 seconds after that, that's when it really took off. Came down to about the 34 EMA, and then closed up over the 20-day simple moving average today. What we have here, today's candle, is a bullish Belthold candle, and the bullish Belthold candle, for me personally, in my humble opinion, is the strongest candlestick out there. I think it is even stronger than a bull kicker. Well, you know what? Let me back up here. Maybe it's not as strong, or maybe they're about the same. But what I find is a bull kicker is a little more consistent. I'm sorry, doggone it. Let's back this up. The bullish Belthold is a little more consistent. I think it has more follow-throughs than a bull kicker. And I know this just by simply going through charts and doing a little bit of what a lot of people call back testing. I call it just good old-fashioned education, getting in there and looking at charts for hours and hours. But I find the Belthold as being one of the best reversal signals out there. And that's what we've got today. And it did not close over the T-line, which that is not and should never be a showstopper for anybody. Just because it doesn't close over the T-line, I certainly wouldn't cry over it. I think the SPY handled itself very well today. I find it unlikely right now that we're going to have any great pullback, say between now and the holidays. I think we're for the most part headed up. Of course, that week of the Christmas, it may get a little low volume there. We may see something there, but right now, because of this candle, I'm kind of thinking that we're going to see some bullishness here. Whether or not we're going to take out these tops, we'll see, or when we're going to take out these tops. But this candle here, bar any bad news, is likely to send us higher. Now, with the Belthold, there is a typical pattern that I see more times than not. Certainly doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to be, but a typical pattern that I see is we're probably going to see something up tomorrow. I would bet that with today's energy into the close, I think we're likely to see a higher high tomorrow than yesterday, than today's high. What could happen there, and this is what I see a lot in belt holes, is all of a sudden price starts coming back just a tad. And I mean, it can move sideways too, or maybe even go up, but go up with no real energy. And then what happens is this plays out, you know, where it is in here, it plays out, and then it starts moving up, kind of on its own sweet time. Now, because Santa's in the air, and we're coming up to this time of the year where we just might get a Santa Claus rally, this might be sped up just a little bit. So we may not get that lingering, well, let me tease you, think about it move, and we might get a nice bullish move up. So a real simple way to play this is just follow the chart. You know, use this low. I think what I might want to come in here is use maybe 50% of today's candle as a guideline. Anything below that, be a little bit patient. Anything above that, I would be shopping for some bull charts. If we open up below and we start moving up, I would shop for some bull charts. And as long as we stay above these lows, I would do the same thing. I just might not be a buyer in here. I might be a buyer once we start moving 50% of this candle and upward, is what I would look at. Now, that's kind of the way I would handle the SPY there. Let's see, Linda. Let's see, did I miss anything else here? Let's see, Linda's saying that she's new here. Welcome, by the way. And a belt hold is new to you. Yeah, I'll be glad to talk about that. We'll do it right now. So thank you for asking. A belt hold, if you think about it, you know, Japanese candlesticks. What a belt hold is, if you think of a mountaintop, and I tend to draw a lot of art here, so maybe I better do it a little differently. If you think about a mountaintop right here, and then you've got two sumo wrestlers up here, and they're up here fighting, is what they're doing. And then one sumo wrestler, and we'll let the green guy be the winner. One sumo wrestler, the green guy, the bull, pushes the other sumo wrestler off the mountain. Well, the green guy reaches down and picks that wrestler up and then puts him back on top of the mountain. So here's the fight. The bear, I probably should have done this the other way. The bear wrestler pushed the bull off the mountain and then reached down and picked him up and brought him back up. So if you think of it that way, that might be a good way to think of it anyway, as what a belt hold is, or how it works anyway. So we have a gap down, and usually we want a substantial gap down. For instance, if we would have gapped right to, say, the 20 and came up, that would not be a belt hold. But we had a good gap to the downside, and then, you know, the gap is falling off the mountain, and then now we're moving up, and we closed. It doesn't have to close into yesterday's candle, but it does have to close relatively close. Now, I like it when it closes into the candle, but that's just a personal, I like it. It doesn't mean that it's not a deal breaker. If this candle would have closed, say, right in here, right at the low, we'd still call that a belt hold. And so anyway, that's what a belt hold signal is. And since you're asking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at the diamonds now, because the diamonds has what I would call and I've never really used this term before, but it's like a baby belt hold to me. It's a smaller candle. If it would have gapped down further and then came up to the close, I think I would have given it a good solid belt hold candle. So I think the SPY has a good one. And I hope that helped. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. The Russell here, gap down, and I'm not even sure I would call this a belt hold. If it would have closed, if the Russell would have closed, say right in this area here, I would not have called that a belt hold because that body just was not big enough. But either way, it turned out to be a bullish engulf and a monster bullish engulf, not a wannabe, not a well, it's almost. This is a statement here. That's a strong candle on IWM here. Now, please let's keep in mind that there's one thing that candlestick signals need here, just like bar charts. Just in any chart you use, you have to have follow through. So that's something we have to watch for. And if we see a little bit of sideways move tomorrow, as long as we stay, say, 50% above the candle, and I don't usually use that 50% terminology, but in this case, I think it warrants it. If we can stay above 50%, then I think we have I think the bulls have maintained their control without any question. If they close below that 50%, then I do think we have to question those bulls, and we just have to watch what happens and see if they start taking it a little bit lower. But I got to tell you, with the way the market acted today, with going into the holiday, I'm kind of thinking we see more bullish than we see bearish doing that right there. So let's see. Mitch is asking, why are the SPY and the diamond showing Belthold? Because they're measured a little differently. I'm using the ETFs, the SPY ETF and diamond ETF, rather than and it's just something I started a long time ago, and I've never gotten out of it. Let's take a look at the S&P. That's a good question. Thank you, Mitch. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, and let's think about what happened today. Okay. At one time today, was it not that right there? It was. And then what happened from there? The bulls brought it back up. So it doesn't look like a belt hold, but when you think about it, there's not a lot of difference between the two. Not a lot of difference. The idea is still there, still doing the same thing. So that's what that's how I will look at that right there. Thank you, Steve, for posting that info there. Okay, let's take a look at FAS. You always want to follow the money, and you certainly can't argue with the money here. I don't know why I have all this stuff up. You can't hardly follow the money. Now, we did have a what could have turned out as a shooting star up here, but remember, candlestick signals require confirmation. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They have to have confirmation. And you can see that the bulls or bears did gain some traction, but the bulls gained traction at the end of the day, and that's what counts. It's the close of the day that counts, not the open of the day. It's where it closes. And we closed up, maybe not tossing that shooting star out the window, but I'm certainly not going to be bearish based on this chart pattern right now. I'm definitely more bullish. Now, there is one chart that I'm not real happy with. There's just one chart here that I think it had a bad day. And I think that bad day was extended clean into the close. I do not think IYT, the transports ETF, had made any good ground today. I think the bears had their way with IYT, the transports, and they never let go. This is not any kind of a candle to write home about. And what we've got here is a chart pattern that does give me a little concern. Now, I've never been one to necessarily follow IYT. The transports controls the market. I think there's other things out there that controls the market equally as much or more nowadays. But nevertheless, the chart pattern is still here, and it is a bearish chart pattern right now. We're simply down, and then we try a different line. There we go. We rally up, but all we've done is create a bear flag, and so far that bear flag is still intact. That is definitely still intact. So we need to keep our eyes on IYT. There's nothing that says the bulls cannot come back and fix that. There's nothing at all that says the bulls can't do that. Let's do this. And then let's do this. That's something I think we could see right there. So the bulls are going to need to get a hold of it. They're going to need to really work it, and they're going to have to kick those bears clean to the side to fix this. But even if this is weak, it's not a showstopper for the market. It's not, by itself, it's not a showstopper. And because the SPY closed up very well today, and I'm going to assume right now that we're going to see a higher high today off a higher high tomorrow off of yesterday, that we stand a very, very good chance of closing higher, which the SPY could lead us up and to bullish areas. But IWM, I would have to say, is the winner. This chart, I would keep an eye on this, because this just may lead us into new territory, new ground up here. If we come over here and let's just forget about today for a moment. Today was nothing. We just simply have a bullish engulf. And if we look at how we've rallied into this sideways consolidation, what I would be expecting now is a breakout based on what I see at this moment, and of course because of today. So we have wave 1, wave 2 is nothing but consolidation, and wave 3 could lead us up a little bit higher here. I'll move that down a little bit. We can come over here and draw from these lows. Let's see, that's about the top right there. And let's come over here, and that looks like that's lower. Man, I'll tell you, this thing could easily climb into this 125 or higher. And there's some targets up there. Whatever this is, 119.50. We might get up into 121 and then look at 122 something, but it's very possible we move up into this area. So what we would have is something that look like this. Let's see, I'm going to use red just because it stands out very good, real well anyway. There we go. So that's what I would be looking for IYT, and it could lead us very nice based on today. Okay. Anyway, if anyone has any charts you want to look at, I have to admit, I woke up this morning, and I planned my day, and I pretty much was going to talk about blue ice failures of bearish moves, but I just think that would be a waste of time right now doing that. I think there'll be another time when we'll be able to do that. I just don't think we'll be able to use anything from it. So it would just be a complete waste of time. So let's just kind of stay with longs. Of course, if anybody has a short you want to look at, we can certainly look at it. It just kind of, my whole lesson plan was somewhat changed today. Hi Andy, how are you? Hope you're doing well. King, I think King is a beautiful chart. Absolutely beautiful chart. It's doing everything we want to see in a chart. I love chart patterns, and I love I love candlestick signals, and when you can put those two together, two very strong indicators, when you can put them together and use them together on just about every chart you look at, then I think you've got a real winning team right there. So I look at King and I see all that. I see everything there. I see we'll do this right here so you can see it. I'm going to come up here and grab this top, and let's grab this next little where it tried to move up, and also those highs as well. And this is going to be my point. I'm just going to extend this line from there. So let's see here. That's pretty close, I guess, huh? So you can see how that's one thing I want to look at. We started moving up over that downtrend line. Now, for me, I still need to get over the big three, the 20, the 34, and the 50-day simple moving average. It certainly did that. And although there is no 200-day moving average up here, in fact, Steve brought that up, I believe it was this morning. We had a little small discussion on that. Even though there's not a 200-day moving average up here, the chart is certainly pulled back where the 200 is not below it. I think we know that. And then it's starting to move up above that big three. So we've got this rounded bottom breakout going on here, which happens to be my absolute favorite chart pattern ever. And from there, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And I say that all the time, and sometimes I think not everybody is really listening to what I'm saying. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that you go look at any chart you want to look at. There are no exceptions to this rule. Zero exceptions. All bullish charts will move up and back, up and back, up and back. I say that all the time, but I think there's still cases where it's just not being grasped that that's what they do. So when they start doing it, we need to start paying attention. When it starts doing it, isn't that the exact same chart? That is right there. And it's leading upward. We've got a nice little pullback flag PBO with a rally. Another nice little pullback. One would look at this right here. This nice little, the way it's kind of rounded up a little bit. This is a nice J-hook breakout. Broke out today of this high. Just a little bit of consolidation here. It's still leading up. Now to your question of where's the targets? Write this down. This is a guaranteed. Write this down. It's very, very simple to figure targets out, and this is what everyone should start with. I think from this point, from after you do this one little thing, then you can get creative. Use all kinds of Fibonacci tools if you want. I know that's a popular tool to search for targets, and there's probably tons of other tools out there. But here's the first thing you do. I'm going to kill this line for a minute, and I'm actually going to move that down for a moment. What I want you to do is I want you to go mark out the highs and the lows. So that looks like a low right there. We've already come up. So if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, where's the target, I would have drawn a line right there. We hit that target. So let's put another one up there. Let's come over here to these lows. That's going to be the next target area. Now I'm using an area, not an exact price. I think using exact price is a big mistake to do. But use that area in here. You might come up here. You might even look at these highs right in here. Some people would do away with this one and just use the highs. But I do think it's important to have these lines so you know where they are. And then I think, you know what, I'm just going to split the difference on this one. So just kind of lay it in there. So if you're looking for targets, that's what I'm going to draw in tonight. But remember, as it's trading in those targets, now there's things we've got to take in consideration that we don't know might or might not happen on any given day. So let's say for fun, King just starts running up and it gets to that line right there. So what are we going to do? I could probably make that a little bigger, couldn't I? There we go. So how are you going to trade it up here? You see, this is where you can't, you can't predict out 3 days from now how it's going to act if it gets up here. So you have to take that day and you have to work with that day. For instance, is it moving up maybe on lighter volume? How far has it moved away from the T line? These are things you might want to ask yourself. Let's see, did it move up higher and then pull back? Is it putting a candlestick in that might look like that right there? See, that might make a difference on whether you keep it that night, you sell it that day, what you do with it. So I hope that was helpful. That was an awful lot for just one stock. I hope you don't mind, but that's what I would do with that right there. Let's take a look at that BCO. BCO is another rounded bottom breakout. I got to tell you, Andy, you're playing with my favorites. Thank you. Those are great. You hang with those, and it'll work out for you. BCO target direction is always the 200-day moving average in this chart pattern. We're going to draw our lines again, and I'm going to start with this right here, and so it's right there at the 200-day moving average. So I'm good with that. So let's come over here and let's put a few other lines. What does it need to clear? What are some obvious places? I would think that's an obvious place right there. I would think that's an obvious place. So what do we see here? I think I'm going to drop one right there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm looking at targets near the 2390 area, around the 2560 area, and then we'll worry about this one if we get up there. So that's how I would do that. Now, how do we think that's going to get up there? Do we think it's going to try this again? Do we think it's just going to do that? Well, we might think that, but is that reality? No, that's not reality. So I doubt it's going to do that. More likely, you know what? I've been following a lot of, and there's quite a few of them today. There's some nice ones. Some doji sandwich continuation patterns. So I'll go ahead and draw that in there. That's a real possibility. Something like this, where tomorrow is a relaxation day, and then we see some follow through, and we'll go ahead and give it a little more follow through in there. Just somewhere in here we may see either this day, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to go with this as a possibility, and then we see follow through. But I think we see pullback before we get up here. And what a pullback does, like this, a minor pullback, what that does, it brings energy into the chart. Charts move up because of demand. If it's moving up, there's more demand for it. Price is moving into it, and that's what's pushing it up. So when it pulls back, when it's a minor pullback like this, that's not this stock losing ground. That's this stock moving back, opening the door wide open to allow new money in to drive it higher. And then it pulls back again. So it opens up the door to allow money in, and then that drives it higher. It's when that pullback pulls back and money comes in, but not enough money, and it fails, and then it starts this. This is when we have a problem. But as long as it continues to break out to new highs, then everything is good, and you want to stay bullish in that. You just have to watch those pullbacks and make sure they continue up and they take out that high. All right, thank you for that, Andy. Appreciate it. Look at the SPY at the line chart. It's going to be up. I can look at it, but Charles, you need to give me what's the question? Not just not just look at it. So we're gonna take off the candlesticks. It's in a bullish trend, and and the SPY has never been out of a bullish trend. It hasn't left its bullish trend once. Um, what it was doing last week, and I still say, and I still say it's there, but we all know that there are no candlestick signals or patterns that works 100% of the time. There are no indicators that work 100% of the time. I still say there is a topping pattern there, and until that's broken, I'm going to continue to say that until the bulls completely leap over it. But you can see where the SPY is bullish, moving up. And let's see, SPY is moving sideways on the line chart. Um, I don't know how it's moving sideways. I see more moving up. That looks like it's moving up to me, not sideways. If you're talking about the last few days, yeah, it's moving sideways the last few days. But overall, the bulls are definitely in charge. Most definitely in charge. Let's get those back up, candlesticks back up there. You don't want to leave those off for too long. Okay. Let's see. Metals Nugget almost bought some Nugget today. Nugget, I would be a buyer on strength. I think it's let's talk about bottom. Buying Nugget, and we'll talk about buying any chart in this bottoming area. And here's the takeaway from Nugget. This is what I would like the takeaway to be. Ask yourself, what's your target? What is your target up here? Let's see. How about we shoot? I don't know. I guess let's go right to here for the target. So I can make an argument that being the target up here. So if that's the target, I think I would be a little more inclined to buy Nugget over 1675, and then we're looking for a target of approximately 45%. Now, let's see, isn't that 3 words? Isn't that enough? I don't think I almost bought Nugget today, and then I thought, you know what? I think I'll wait because I'm looking at a possible 45% move. I don't need to horse around with this measly little 10-15% move right here. I don't need to mess with that. So anyway, I think the best case for Nugget is to wait till it proves itself a little more. The truth of it is here, we've got a chart that's down, coming up, but it's back down, and until it gets over about this area here, I would question whether it's ready to go or not. So, once again, why fight it in this area? Wait till it's up here, takes these highs out, and then you have a little bit of an easier run up to that red line up there, about 45% away. Which, in most cases, that's the kind of money that buys new cars and boats and things like that. That's good money there. Excuse me, AG. I want to see a little more confirmation on AG. Do we have a bottoming chart pattern? Yes, we do. But do we have confirmation yet? No, we don't. And I think we need to see a little bit more confirmation in here. But that is a nice chart pattern. It can certainly be bought on positive trading. Nice hammer, nice gap bull kicker signal today, minus that little silly wick down there. But even then, I think okay, not quite. It's close, very close. I would be a buyer on strength, but you want to keep that stop pretty darn tight just to make sure that this thing actually follows through. Yeah. And JNUG, JNUG, I got nothing on it today. That just does not look like it's any good to me. Not yet. There's no buy signal here. No buy signal at all, in fact, on the way it closed. Let's see, WBMD. WBMD. Again, I really, really want to caution everybody. Be careful with trying to nail that bottom. Be very careful with it. I don't think it pays in the end, and that's what we've got here. We've got a chart that's trying to bottom out. This just so much would change above that 50. I just get it above the 50. Look what it does right here. It takes out this whole area right here, and that is a bit of resistance right in there. We get above the 50, and look how we start taking out these lows right there. I just think that would be a better trade above the 50. So if you're going to buy on strength, you want to buy on strength that travels tomorrow or maybe the next day. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. Above the 50. So if I bought it down here tomorrow or the next day or even the next day, the day I bought it, it would have to close up here, or I don't think I would keep it. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is only buy it if it goes above that 50 area, and if it closes below, then you want to get out of it. So I think the key is getting over that 38.80 area right in there. That's what I think on that one. Let's see. King and BCO, shouldn't we take into consideration the strong market today for these bullish candles since the 80? Well, of course we should. AT, you always want to take in consideration the market. Yes. AT would be a buy on positive trading. Nice little doji. Bullish Engulf. I actually like that chart a lot right now. Let's do this here. First of all, let me get rid of this line. We don't need this. Oops. There we go. If we take this low and this high right here, this low and this high, and very important lows and highs. Look how all this trading was in this area right here. Never came below this low. And then you see how this broke out? So now let's draw another line. I'm just going to change this to red so it's a different color. Look how that broke out. And we'll go to those highs there. So what we've got is we started moving, and let's see, how can I do this? Think of this as stair steps. So here we're a big step, and now what we're going to look for is, we don't know where the top's going to be, so let's just make something up, something like that. And then we're going to take that other step up. I guess what I'm trying to say, that's a very, very nice chart. It's doing everything it should be doing. One simple thing to do is draw a line in there, nice little trend line, just to give you a guideline that if it starts breaking down below that trend line, what it's going to do is start getting into that lower box over here, and that's not where you want it to be. So as long as that trend continues to move, I would continue to trade AT. And HL, boy, everybody likes the mining stocks. HL is a buy on positive trading. It's a rounded pinball, rounded bottom breakout. There we go. RBB. Anytime I see one of those, I'm going to like it. There's just not too many of them I would say no to. I may say be patient on one, but nothing I'd say no to. So any kind of positive trading, I would be buying it. In fact, what I want to do is draw something what I call the buy box. Any kind of trading in this area right here, I would be a buyer, knowing that about right in here would be my stop. $2.40. maybe even a little lower. Still around that 240 area if it started moving back below that area. So anywhere inside that box would be a buy. What you're looking for is there's wave. Whoops, try this again. There's wave 1, wave 2. You're looking for wave 3 up and out of there. Let's see, Hog. We mentioned the silver miners yesterday and again this morning, but they did not close very strong. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't have that follow through that so many other things had. SIL. Yeah, see SIL. I mean, I would like SIL, but I would like it up here, $10, $10-ish. PAAS. Yeah, these are all you posted. Now, see, I think PAAS closed very nice. I could see that one. See, that's one I can see on the chart or on the list tomorrow. If we're looking for a silver chart, PAAS. Nice hammer yesterday. Nice bullish kicker gap up. Closed over the big 3. Very nice chart on this one. CDE. CDE would be another one I would take a look at. Got to write those down. CDE, because it closed up over that area that would make us want to take a look at it. Look here, let me get rid of this. There we go. If I put this line underneath today's candle, just slightly, well, right at the open, I guess. Now let's look all the way to the left. Look how we closed over this resistance area right here. Man, that's a huge plus, absolutely huge plus, and that's what I would want it to stay over. So if we closed, I don't care much about the intraday unless it's just ridiculous, but if we closed back below that red line, that would tell me that resistance is still intact. Another thing too is when you take a look at this chart, all this is bottoming action. That's all it is. So where's our possible trades on this? What if we waited to buy it till, say, it got up into that area there, started taking out that high? We have this little bit to worry about, but I think we get up here. I don't think that's going to matter. So if we take it, if we do that, what are we looking at? 50%, 55%? Isn't that enough money? We don't need to fight it down here. We really don't. There's 55% target that potential on this. And like I say, I just don't think we need to mess with it down here. Or on those other ones. This one's up there pretty nice. And then SSRI, I didn't even look at this one. Yeah, that one closed up pretty good too. Back above that the 20, the 34, and the 50, what I call a big 3, and then that really sets that up for a nice launch higher. Good support right now. Good support. But we still need to see follow through. That's very, very important. TIVA. TIVA would be a buy on strength. T-Bing. Thank you. That's a nice chart. Chart's been moving up. It's moved back without any real conviction. That's just a slow little profit taking. Yeah, I don't want to sell it. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. Can't make its mind up. And then we get the slam today. Beautiful, beautiful picture, book perfect hammer is put in there. So any kind of positive trading tomorrow, I wouldn't be afraid to trade that one at all. Nice chart. Thank you on that one. Gotta write that down. You guys are making my job easier. ATI, another RBB chart pattern here. I would not be afraid to trade that. Bullish Engulf, we have a low. We do not have a higher high, although we have a higher low. One might even argue that it's in that double bottom area right here. And notice, let's put this line up here. I want to grab that low area. Look how we're above all of this. So, we start rolling up, and now we're breaking out of all this mess down here. That's the kind of chart we're looking for. And we've got a little cup and handle brewing here. Beautiful chart. Beautiful. When do you decide when a breakout is really a breakout? When it stays above the recent breakout high. So looking at this chart right here, would it be, if when it moves above these highs, would it be a breakout of this high? Yes. Then when it moves above these highs, would it be a breakout of these highs? Yes. So what we're looking at is oh, I don't, I don't have the scanner up, or I could just quickly look at one and get, say, a 52-week high. So let's do this. Chart moves up, chart moves back, chart moves up, and let's change the color here. Now let's change back. So we break out. Okay, that's a breakout right there. That's the new floor. This is the new bottom. This is the new bottom. In fact, we could probably say none of this matters anymore. None of it matters. This is the new floor. So if it pulls back, which it will, I mean, to think it won't is ridiculous. If it pulls back, we want it to stay above that floor and then continue to travel up, something like that. So when is a breakout a breakout? When it breaks out and holds. It's got to hold. Otherwise, it's just a breakout that didn't go anywhere. What I meant about the close was the last hour or so. Yeah, and some of those look pretty good up, Steve, that closed up. I think if they closed up over the 20, the 34, and the 50, I call them good. If they close below, then I would wait for them to close back above. Yeah. Let's see. SGY. SGY. I would wait for positive trading. I think the trade on this might be over 1630. I'd wait for this high to get cleared right in here. And then what's going to happen is you may run into a little resistance up here at $20. So I think I think if you bought it at 1620, I think what you've got is a trade up to this area here, which is I just saw that, which is which is 27%. I'm going to write it down. I might be trading that one tomorrow. Thank you. If normally I'm not going to go after a stock that just has that little bit of a move, but that little bit of a move is 27%. So I think maybe we'll take a look at that. Thank you very much for that, T. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. But I do think the trade right now is limited up to about just a little bit over 20 for now anyway. Disney, I saw Disney popping today a little bit, coming back up. You can see it came up pretty nice. So I think what we've got in Disney, it's just a simple trend. Work that trend, and there's nothing about it today based on the close that says Disney's going lower. In fact, right now, the way it looks, Disney's still going higher from here. You just need to see follow through off that hammer. Can you ACHN? ACHN, we have a piercing candle. I would be a buyer on positive trading. At this point, I would also make sure that I drew a trend line in there, and I do not want it to come back below the trend line. Yesterday was a bit harsh, and then today it just really come back. So maybe it just needed a little profit taking up here near the top, which it did. and the bulls really came back into it nice. So today was a nice finish for this, a nice comeback and a nice finish. I would continue to trade it anywhere in here, just not below a trend line though. You don't want it back below there because that would tell us it's breaking down. GIMO. GIMO. Oh, 1 second here. There we go. Okay, GIMO. Nice bullish trade. Nice chart, John. By the way, GIMO is a rounded bottom breakout here that has really worked out very nice, and it's approaching my target. So I kind of think right now you have limited upside for the moment. Do I think there's more upside? Yes. Do I think you're likely to see a higher high tomorrow? Yes, I do. I do. But I also think you may be in for a little consolidation here, just simply because you're now really getting into some resistance up here. And I mean, it could. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and put this about right here. So we could see something up into this area, then start consolidating. But right there, that represents 20%. So a very nice chart that has some upside potential with some near-term consolidation. That's what I would look at on GIMO. Let's see, PVG. PVG setting up a little cup and handle. I think the big trick is going to get through that 200-day moving average. That's going to be the big trick on it right there. So I think the trade is up here, not necessarily down here. Now, if we were to pull back a little bit, there we go. If we were to pull back and then you could catch it down in here, then I think you might have something in this level right here. But otherwise, I would watch over that 650 area, over that 200 on this one. This is where your money is, up here. Any thoughts on SPEX as it pulls back and holds a T-line with lower, whoops, try that again. There we go. Yeah, it's holding. This is an excellent chart to talk about how bottoms are formed. Absolutely a perfect chart. I'm going to come in here and I want to draw a line right there first. And then we'll come up here. We'll draw, we have a low. We have a high. Do we have a higher low? Well, as of the close of today, we do. So that's as far as we can go. What we need to see now is if this is in fact going to be the turning point, say about this $127 level, the turning point to start moving up, the point at which it breaks out is the trade. So this is where I would be a buyer. Now, with that said, we're all traders. We like buying lower. We like looking for reasons to buy. So I'm not saying necessarily wait for it to move up there, but that's where the trade is, above this level right in here. If you wanted to trade it early, there's nothing wrong with buying it, setting that stop. I'd probably let the stop run down to about $121. So a close below $121 would take me out. And if it didn't get down there and we just kind of slid sideways and it started curling up, then you're ahead of the game. If it starts to break out and run for these highs, you have a little extra in there. So that's how I would look at that. And that's what, about 8%, 9%. But all in all, it needs to find this high and get above it. Okay, CIEN. is a really nice chart, was on your trade ideas for today, but I think it has earnings Thursday. I think you're correct, Linda. It still looks great. Earnings is one of those things that I'm not going to determine whether anyone should trade. That everyone has to decide whether they're going to trade it. So it has no. I don't consider earnings if I put it on the list. I'm just simply looking at the chart patterns that look like they're going higher, and it did today. That's it's working out pretty good right now. But come before the earnings, you just want to really make that decision. Do you want to be in it? I know some people look at charts and say, well, if the chart still looks bullish going into earnings, then the assumption is it will continue to work out. I have found that that's not true. I've also found that the opposite is true, or the opposite is not true as well. So it's kind of a tie game. And the only trades I can remember, earnings are only the bad ones, the ones that didn't work out. So that's why I tend not to trade earnings. I try not to. It doesn't work out all the time, but I try not to. But excuse me, CIEN still looks like a great chart right now. Too complicated. ZLTQ. I would be buying on bullish trading. I said earlier tonight I'm a pretty much a pattern trader. I like trading those patterns. So today was nice, no doubt about it. Today was a good day, but we're still fighting a bearish flag here, and we need to overcome that. ZLTQ is another one of these charts. Why not trade this on a breakout? It's only it's not even hardly a buck away, and then on that breakout, to be honest, I'm seeing maybe 36, maybe 39. I'm going to stop at 36. I'm seeing somewhere around $36. So right in here, I just can't see myself getting too excited over that. Also, what do we have here? Yeah, I'm going to want to really see this thing move up. Let's see. You're welcome, John. Thank you. IP. Try that again. IP. Nice chart. Got to write that one down. IP. Let's look at IP a little longer. In fact, let's just look at a weekly chart. All right, let's look at that weekly chart. See how we've... I'm just going to use red because it just shows up a little bit better. Say we've rallied up here, and then look at that sideways, just consolidation, and now it's breaking out. What a very, very nice chart on the weekly. Go back to the daily. Look how that thing has pulled back and moving up. It got caught in the poor open today. The bulls brought it right back up. What a beautiful J-hook breakout, 1, 2, 3 type move here. Excellent chart right now. This looks great. IP. Who put that up there? Lynn? Nice chart. Thank you. What about if you're in it already? Andy, without a chart, I can't. I don't know what chart we're talking about there. Without a chart. Yeah, Con got caught in bad earnings. Ouch. Yeah, anybody that got into it, wow. Little pain right now. Let's see. INFI. We've got a little doji sandwich here. Let's see. Doji Bullish Engulf. Yeah, Bullish Engulf plus breakout plus nice weekly. Let's see, where's my weekly? Right there. Wow. You got that right. That is a beautiful weekly. If you like bios, and I do not mind them at all, that's a nice chart. INFI. I would also like to talk about something here really quick. This doji bullish engulf. Some may know it as a doji sandwich. It's a terrific continuation pattern. Absolutely terrific. One of the things I look for, which this did, is this candle here. So 3 days back, today being 1, 2, and 3. Candle 3 has to be larger in range, open and closed, than the previous two candles, not combined, separate. So I want to see a fairly bullish candle, again, larger range than these, two back here, and then a close above 50% of, let's just move this up, this doji, or it can be like a Hiromi type candle. I'm not married to the doji. I can deal with a Hiromi as well. As long as it closes in the 50%, the upper 50% of day 3 candle, which is this one right here, that is set up very nice when that happens. And then we look for the next day to do just what today did, and I would look for that to move higher. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Great weekly chart. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Steve, for the earnings there. Appreciate that. Let's see. BGC. You like. Now you're working, Nigel. Thank you. What do you have there? 1462. Nice. Well done, sir. I see what you're doing. Beautiful chart. We've got that rounded bottom breakout. Nigel's trade is up there where the money is, not playing around with all the rebels are. They're all above this higher level. And let's see. Let's look for this 1528. What was your price again? Yeah. So around this 1528 area, might see a little, it might just jump right through it. It might just kind of stop right there a little bit. But other than that, to me, this looks like a trade up here to that 19, high 19 area. So about 24%. Nice chart. Well done, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's see. I'm going to call it a night here. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I truly appreciate it. Tomorrow, there's a lot of good charts out there tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more charts like this one. Not that one. Try it again. There we go. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more charts that look like this, where they're up, and then we see a little bit of consolidation tomorrow. This is what I want to shop for tomorrow, because one, I don't want to chase it. At least I want to feel like I got a bargain. So if we have a run up like this, nice candle like this, and then if you can get a chance to get this doji in there, Hiromi, then maybe the next day, because the next day was the trading candle, then I wouldn't be afraid to buy it down here, knowing that chart pattern is in, looking for it to move higher. So that's what I'm going to kind of shop for tomorrow, these chart patterns, because today was such a bullish day. We just might well, I know we will on some charts. I know we'll see a little bit of consolidation in there, and that's the kind of chart that I want to really start looking for. One thing I found today, as we got toward the end of the day and the market was just, what in the world happened? I noticed it was kind of hard to find charts that hadn't moved up so much, which made me realize, well, tomorrow what I want to shop for are stocks that's consolidating, but consolidating in the upper end of today's candle. and then I'll start looking to buy in this area. Like I said, if it just makes me feel better, getting a better price, it's worth it to do that. Otherwise, watch for those breakouts, get on board and trade them. I still think the market is bullish, and it did catch me by surprise today. I was not expecting that bullish turnaround at all, and wow, what a big difference it was toward the end of the day. So I want to say thank you, everybody. I'll get this recording done and we'll get it out. And by the way, real quick, if I've had a couple of people ask me about Steve's recording last Friday. It's on the website, both in the members and the public area. It's all right there if you want to go grab it. So anyway, thanks a lot. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.